speaking of Cordae, we have from a bird's eye view, 14 songs, 41 minutes long. Um, Going into it, like Cordae is an artist who has really developed and blossomed into something that we really, really like. Like The Lost Boy that we reviewed in 2019. God damn, that was already 3 years ago. Insane to think about that. Album that we both really liked. Like there was a couple good tracks on there. Something where someone who came off of, the big trap scene and moving on to his own kind of thing after that
Formerly known as YBN
is
Corday.
exactly
This is
before we
one of
know
these
as YBN,
rap group guys. Like,
who then developed into his own sound, into his own thing. And I really appreciate him for that and really commend him for that because it's not, it's not the, he's not tread the beaten path. So from Bird's Eye View, same thing. He's really getting into that territory of fantastic rap. Like I really like the production and it very understated in the way it is, similar to Sweatshirt in that way, but it's longer. There's some bangers in here. There's a little bit more features. You have actually, ironically, you have a song with Gunna. You got Lil Wayne, her, Lil Durk, Freddie Gibbs, Stevie Wonder, Champagne Glasses. More on that later. Um, but you still have kind of that sound that he had a little bit earlier, but still kind of refining it and trying to update as much as he can. But it's not going to sell as well as Gunna because he's not saying Push and P or some Rosa Parks shit because he's not that type of artist anymore, which I like. He's really evolved into, an artist I really respect. So, anyways,
yeah,
let's dive into it.
yeah. So
Um,
my overall takeaway with this is like, yeah, The Lost Boy is one of my favorite, most recent like rap albums just to date.
mhm,
Period. It's just
mhm.
so
So
incredibly
good.
like. So it's like it touches like deep levels of just life and things that like took
Hmm.
me back even. So like I was super impressed by the whole project. Um, from a bird's eye view, like we could kind of consider The Lost Boy to be effectively Cordae's first project, and so from a bird's eye view is his second. And so artists have to overcome that second album curse, so to speak, and
Yeah.
the
As
curse it
yeah.
is.
As Robin Pecknold from Fleet Foxes says, I am glad I never have to make a second album for the rest of my life. It's not easy.
It's hard. The cases where you have like Billie Eilish, where they
Yep.
do a phenomenal second album, that's the exception rather than the rule. And here, I just think that from a bird's eye view feels too much like B-sides of The Lost Boy. It feels like all of the tracks from The Lost
Hmm.
Boy that weren't quite hype enough or weren't quite fast enough or developed enough to fully like make it out there. And that's not to say these songs feel unfinished, but they just don't feel like enough of a evolution of moving forward to like not justify a new album. I'm not going to go into it that hard, but I've listened to this going like, okay, Cordae's still got bars. He's still spitting. These songs are all right, but there's nothing that's like, oh, whoa, this is a hit. Oh, whoa, this is a really good song here. This is going to be played everywhere. The closest thing you'd get to that's maybe Super, which was a single that we had come
Yep.
out a couple months ago. But even then, it's a little understated. Like, I think we could see a little bit more from Cordae. Like to get Cordae to be a little bit more louder, a little bit more bombastic. Rap needs that kind of thing, and in too many songs in this project, I didn't see that. But we can get into the music.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, you have Shawn Michael to start off, which is a really slow kind of track that sounds like that's straight from The Lost Boy. You have Super, which is that single that we just talked about. I really like Super a lot. I think it's a banger. I think it's something that I could bump. It's that understated trap song that you can still bump during work. I was like, I play this at work, and like people go off on this shit. So, but it's that like perfect blend. It's almost like a 21 Savage song. It feels like they're very different in this way, but feels like a lot. Where a lot is that kind of like slow song, but you could bump it and it's just like it hits, you're moving. Like so I really, really like that track. But there's other things in here that I wish he had more of that like understated banner sound compared to some of the other things he did, like the track with Gunna and a little bit just today. It's kind of let down on that. And there's other ones I thought were good. It's just were a little, I'm not gonna say underdeveloped, but a little disappointing the way that they were made. But anyways, you got after that you have Mama's Hood, Want for Me, which is more of that like slowed down spoken stuff, or storytelling in there, which is good. Like Mama's Hood sounds exactly like Lost Boys. Want for Me, I really like. I like the production of it. I really like how it's like jazzy feel to it. Kind of goes around. It's like old school hip hop, which I like a lot. Today with Gunna, I actually don't like this track that much. I think it's just that like This is his old sound of like when he was YBN Cordae. You know, it's just that try to trap beat, trap snare and all that. Gunna is fucking awful. He's not pushing P on this track, so it's not very good.
Not enough P, Ghana. We're gonna have to
Not enough P, man.
up our P numbers. These are rookie numbers.
He's gotta get those up. And then the rest of the record, like you have at the end of it, or after today, you have other than you have h.e.r, which is kind of an okay track. And then after that, you have 3 tracks in a row with features. It's Sinister featuring Lil Wayne, of Chronicles with h.e.r. and Lil Durk. You got Champagne Glasses with Freddie Gibbs and Stevie Wonder. It is interesting the way that he made all of those features right at the bottom, so this album feels a little tipped to the scale of the bottom, which is
Totally.
because those tracks are fantastic. Sinister, Lil Wayne, really, really good hip hop track. I think this is Lil Wayne's best feature I've heard in a long time. He fits on it, feels good, flows fine, and all that. Like compared to with the song that he was on with the Weekend, which I felt like it's off the whole album. Instead of it being a perfect, almost a perfect record to me, he throws it off just that little bit to hit you, which makes me still mad to this day. It's Don F. Is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
and then Chronicles with h.e.r. and Lil Durk is also good, but it's like the issue Lil Durk parts I don't like. Her sounds really good. It's just the production of it. It's like you have like the trap and beat with trap snare, but I like the kind of the duet sound, the trap and beat with Cordae and her. Lil Durk kind of ruins it.
Yeah, I think you were putting like a little bit too much sauce in there, right? Like all these are good artists on their own. My qualms with Lil Durk notwithstanding, but these I think it just sort of got drowned out in that one. Sinister, I will go back to and say that like it's a nice short track. Lil Wayne and Cordae both get in, get out. They're both lyrically able
Yeah,
to handle the track, and it's
which
just
I
nice and
like.
simple. That's a solid one. And yeah, Chronicles is all right. I did really like Champagne Glasses
No,
with
I want to
Cordae
get
and Freddie
Champagne
Gibbs.
Glasses.
Yes.
It's actually a fantastic track. As I said, more on that later. This is the banner for me. This is like what he can make when he has the right tools around. Similar to a super. Like this is a track that he can do. It's hard when you're making that second record when you really reinvented yourself. You dropped the YBN, you're coming out just as yourself. You don't have that support around you as much. You have a lot of pressure on you, but we still get this like he's talented, and this track is so I really, really like it a lot. Flow, fantastic. The beat is good. All the Freddie Gibbs is great. Stevie Wonder's on it, like Stevie fucking Wonder. And it's good too. So it's just, yeah, it's a great track. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but the thing I like about it the most is he makes it long enough at 4 minutes, 17 seconds to have everybody included on it, but short enough to not overstay its welcome. So this is a perfect track to have 2 features on.
Yeah, I definitely feel what you were saying earlier, which is that even though it feels like this album was laid out in a specific way, I disagree with the way it was laid out because
Exactly. Yeah.
the album it's like a seesaw where like one side's very clearly top like leveled out. You should have spread out these tracks and you would have had a much more balanced project. I think overall would have been better. But what you risk getting is like almost a snoozer through like the first half of it and then like
Especially in the middle.
yeah,
Especially in the middle.
and then by the time you're at the end, like you already have to overcome the hurdle of okay,
Yep.
people kind of don't like conscious rappers all the time, so Cordae's got that working against him. It's not like the most bangerish or like out there, so that's got working against him in trap. When you're burying your really good tracks and your really good features near the bottom, you're just not really doing yourself enough favors with the project, and it's a shame because I think it's definitely better than the sort of abysmal first week numbers seem to suggest, but it goes to say the second album slump is real, and even great artists can be like taken from it or like taken. I treat it as though it's like a disease. Like, and then we lost Cordae to the second album curse. God damn it! No, but that being said, there's nowhere to go. But I mean, not nowhere to go it up. I'm not saying like this is a disaster record. I think there's still some like solid products on here. It's just The Lost Boy had me so impressed. I thought number 2 he'd be able to do, even if the number 2 album wasn't phenomenal, I thought it would be like a little bit better than this. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that regard. Nevertheless, it's not like we've lost Cordae
It's
who's
not bad.
going in a terrible
No,
direction.
it's that second album which is hard, and this album might be something that grows on us over time as well. I think kind of throwing out some of the foo-foo in this, Champagne Glass is a track I think I'm going to really enjoy this whole year. Super is a track I've already enjoyed a lot. I'm going to continue to enjoy. And there's some other things that I might discover a little bit more the more I kind of dive into it as well. But, anyways, arbitrary scale, obviously, red, yellow, green cards for elementary school behavioral issues. This is a yellow card. This is a solid yellow. Like, this is a tactical foul in football, as they say. Like, you got to break away. Like, you're not going to break your ankles. You're not going to straight red, but, save a goal, yellow, do your business. You're like, it's a professional foul. Teacher knows, like, you might have cheated a little bit, but it's a professional cheat. Like, she looks at you and goes, I ain't mad because I did it too. So like, you're clever, but like, I beat it to you
It's
though.
like, um, go get this signed by your parents and bring it back tomorrow so I can acknowledge that like they know about this.
Exactly.
One of those situations.